Ready or Not is coming out to console, but it's being censored by Xbox and PlayStation. Turn the volume up, let's talk about it. So yeah, the console release is just around the corner. We're less than 3 weeks away. Oh boy, in July, for Ready or Not coming out to console, both on PlayStation and Xbox. A new patch statement has come out on fair bits and bobs to come out with the game. If you do want to go through all the patch notes and everything, I'll link that down below. Also, if you're a bit more a visual person, there's a link to Jabsbro. He has done a great video on just the whole thing. But I just wanted to talk about the content censorship in this video. So, yeah, it's getting censored. Not a huge amount. I don't think it's going to affect actual gameplay. It will affect a little bit of the tone. It's nothing going to be insane. And I'll run through what is being censored. But just before I get into that, I think we need to just take a second to just appreciate. I'm from Australia. Our classification board has laid the ban hammer of a lot of games. And this game seemed to be fine with them. They approved the one on PC. It got taken down for 3 weeks, but they approved it. Now, they may have approved it knowing that these changes were coming, and they were like, hey, these are all the things that are flagged. And then maybe Sony and Microsoft were like, hey, these are all the things we're flagging, and going, oh, okay. But as far as I can tell, the PC version of this game was completely approved, and it was approved for console. So whether they did a fast one and they just gave them the console version, like, yeah, it's the exact same, or not, is another story. Because I find it baffling that, so I think this is the first time that we've had something that Sony and PlayStation has said, hey, this needs to be toned down. But the Australian classification board has gone, yeah, it's fine. Try get Schedule 1 in Australia. You still can't, and I don't think you ever will be able to. Like, they are, I wouldn't say they're nuts, but they are a bit nuts when it comes to drugs, ultraviolence, and nudity, and this game has 2 of those things. Thankfully, it's not so much into drug consumption, but so yeah, I was a little bit shocked to read this, but we'll run through it all. So dismemberment is going to get toned down, not in the original shot. So if you just blow someone with a shotgun, it will dismember them all the same. The thing that's going to change going forward is that when they're on the ground, you can't just like start picking out limbs. I'm pretty sure that body is just that body once it goes down. It's not really changing the gameplay very much. I think it will be fine. Nudity has been completely toned down in this game going forward, and these are both what I should have mentioned before. This is going to be for the PC versions and the console versions because there's full crossplay. So nudity is going to be toned down. One thing that like I probably don't have too much of a problem with is like the scenes depicting children are just going to be toned down a little bit. So they're not going to be like convulsing or like vomiting up their own blood. They're just going to be sleeping now. I think that might be maybe just a better move in general. I get that this is like a full-on game and it is very real. Like that was one thing like I've seen videos and I was like, oh boy, that's full-on. And like, yeah, I know SWAT, I know there are certain people in the world that see that day to day. However, I'm playing a video game. This is not real life. It's a simulation of what they do. But I think like there's some creative license that you can take. So that's now going to be out of the game a little bit. It will take off some of the tone, I think, because if you do see a child in pain, even if it's a digital child, I do think like as a player, especially the first few times that you see that, it may be down the road that you get a bit dull to it. But the first few times, I really think you'd be like, I need to act. I need to go now because there's a kid in danger. So we're not going to have those moments as we did in the past. The other thing is evidence textures on console are being modified. They didn't talk a huge amount in this, but I'm assuming it's drugs. And it's just saying, like, but the implications remain clear. And it's like, so we're just going to get, like, drug paraphernalia instead of drugs or maybe less when it comes to, like, suicide bombers, maybe. I never thought looking at those things in the game that it was full-on. There was much more full-on adult themes in this game than that. So I'm a bit shocked that was pulled. And again, this particular stuff, I was a bit worried about the Australian government saying, no, you can't play it. And they said, yeah, no worries. So I'm going at it with that barometer of like, I come from a country that bans a lot of games, so usually if we're approving it, it's probably okay. Especially now, like we've definitely fixed what it was in the past. Like we're I think Australia's a little bit better than it once was. And ultimately, I just think that this is a game with adult themes, and I don't mind maybe some of the license to ask a developer, hey, Void Interactive, do you mind just turning this down just a wee bit? And I think that they would probably come to the table and be like, yeah, okay, look, no worries at all. It's not really going to affect the game. I think a lot of the little bits and bobs of like dismembering dead bodies tone down on nudity and tone down on children. I actually think most people wouldn't notice the change. Maybe a little bit with the children side of things, because they've just noticed that those scenes wouldn't be, or when you're looking through a camera, they're just not as violent as they once were. But I think everything else would go unnoticed. I really think the evidence side of things is going to really take you out of the game a little bit. Just with the way they've said, like, the implication will be clear, and it's like, what is it, like a post-it note that's like IOU cocaine. just for the evidence. I just think it's going to be a little bit silly on that side of things. So yeah, like it's a little bit sad. Like, this is someone's art. This is I'm a firm believer of that, and I don't think this game necessarily crosses a line. It is definitely full on. And I think it's been rated R18 pretty much everywhere around the world. So it's up for you, the individual. If this game's too much for you, don't play it. But in saying that, like, children are going to play this game. So is there a responsibility to protect them from, like, the super harsh things and tone it down a little bit? Like, I mean, that debate, you can never come to an ending of that debate, because it starts to be like, well, the parents need to do this. And it's like, yeah, but, like, all it takes is one person to just shoot up a school, which happens quite often. And they just say that it was this game's fault, and it's just like, that's going to be World War III on violent games again. So I kind of get just a small tone down here, except for the evidence side of things. And again, I don't think it's going to take anything away from the game. The game's going to be the same. The one thing that's a bit sad for the PC games is that, hey, like, that's coming to YouTube, but just because the way crossplay works, it's much more difficult to have things look different on two separate screens. Obviously, if you just load in one level, it's much easier for them to do. So I think the developer has got a little bit of blowback from this. I would say unfairly. It's not really their fault. Like, I think it makes perfect business sense to put this game on as many platforms as you can, and ultimately this is a business. As much as it's art, it's still business. Like, they have investors that they answer to. Making a video game costs a fair bit of money to make, so to get it on other platforms is a real win. And ultimately, I think that if this is what it takes for a game like this, which has been in development for such a long time. I think it's coming up to its 5th anniversary at the end of the year, and if you look at the videos when it first came out, it's nothing to now. Void Interactive have poured so much blood, sweat, and tears into this game to make it as good as it is. And like, just the intensity of that game is just, it's unparamount to anything else. So if this is the trade-off to get this to be in more hands, like, ultimately, then that's a no-brainer for them. So I don't think anyone should get mad at the developer, and, like, it's fine. And like I said, I don't think really anyone's going to notice it. I don't think people are going to be like, this game's changed because there's less boobs in it. It sucks a little bit, but let's face it, that's as far as it sucks. It's just a little bit. It's annoying. It's like, oh, man. Oh, well. But you just move on with your life. But yeah, of course, people on the internet just go, take this to the next level. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, that's my point of view on it. But I did want to make a video on it just because, like, I have been covering a lot of classification things. I've been covering Ready or Not. So for me, it was kind of like in the wheelhouse of, like, hey, I cover both of these things. So I think, like, censorship is something that I am a bit passionate about. To a degree. Obviously, you start to get real nerdy if you get way too in the weeds, which I do a little bit, but I try to not nerd up these videos as much. But yeah, I usually at the end of video say subscribe, like, and then comment, but I'm definitely going to start with comments. Comment down below, do you think this is right? Like, do you think that a game should be censored, or do you think it's like, you either take us as it is or not? Or do you think, like, the bulk of the censorships, again, outside of that evidence one, is like, it's fine, no one's really going to notice it? Yeah, I'll be curious what everyone says. I would say keep it civil, but I know you guys aren't. You guys are animals. You're animals. Lock you up and throw away the key. No, you guys are fine. Hit the like button, because then the algorithms, and it sends it off to more people than that they like it, and then it algorithms more. And hit the subscribe button. That really does help us out. You have no idea. Even if we just get like one a day, it keeps the motivation going. It's just, this channel is just my brother and I. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun doing it. Also, as I mentioned before, Jabs Bro, I've put that video down below. He's an Aussie. He's getting real close to 1,000 subscribers too, so he's well ahead of the game than us. But yeah, he pretty much runs through everything new that's come out in the patch, and I was gonna make that video. I saw he made it, so I was like, no, Go watch him. Go watch him now. I hope you didn't click away beforehand, because then you haven't made it this far, and I just lost, like, watch time, so that sucks. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's fine. Anyway, I'm going to edit this up. I'm going to cut this up. Been watching footy all day, making lunches for the week. I'm Brenton. This is Redolin Live. I'm out of here. Bye.